Welcome everyone. My name is Alejandro Chacon. I'm one of the admissions counselors here at the University of Oklahoma. And today we're gonna talk to you guys a little bit about, being a first generation student, helping you guys out with the application, giving you a little bit more of information. But before we start, I would like to introduce a few of my coworkers. I would like to, have my coworkers, say what are they, what position do they have, and what and what regions and stuff they are in charge. So I mean, if we want to start with you, Cade, it will be amazing for you guys to give us a little bit of information before we get started.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Alejandro. My name is Kate Shaw. I am an admissions counselor for OU, and I serve a region of schools in the Tulsa area. So any of you 918 folks, excited to have you here. Everyone else as well, too. We are super thrilled to be able to host you this afternoon and go through some tips and tricks and lots of important things that you'll need to know for this upcoming year and even beyond that as well. So, Hannah.
Hey guys, my name is Hannah Harrell. I use she, her pronouns. I am in Austin. So I live in Austin. I serve the Central Texas region as an admissions counselor. So if you live in Austin, San Antonio, the Valley, or even West Texas, those are my regions. So as an admissions counselor, we love to be a resource to you all, whether it's admissions, scholarships, housing, programs. We'd be happy to help. And like I said, be an available resource to you throughout your college navigation experience. Yeah, so happy to be here with you guys today and hope we answer all of your questions.
Well, thank you. And like I said, my name is Alejandro Chacon. I'm also an admissions counselor here, and my region is Southwest Oklahoma. So basically all the way from, Newcastle down to Altus. I take care of all of those schools. So we have some individuals that are part of that region. I will be your admissions counselor. I will be your biggest advocate. So make sure that you guys keep connected and keep in touch with me. All right. So let's get started. So what will we be covering today? So the biggest things that we will be talking about today, make sure that you guys have a notebook and a pen on the side, because you guys are gonna have to write a few things, make sure that you guys take all of the information that we give you guys, because it's gonna be really, really important, and make sure that you start getting connected with your admissions counselor. So we're gonna talk today a little bit more about, what OU has to offer, important dates that you guys need to keep in mind to just get this started and just start thinking about OU, the application itself. And then at the end, we're gonna have a little bit of more information, and we're gonna give you a little bit of tips on how to, make your application a little bit better. And also we have a chat, so make sure that if you guys have questions, that you can dock them down. And then once we have a little bit of a Q&A part at the end, we'll be able to answer some of your questions, okay? So first of all, what is it to be a first generation student? So the definition of a first generation student has a lot of variations, but the most simple one is that a high school student that is the first one in their family to go to college is considered to be a first generation student. However, that doesn't mean that your family did not go to college. So you might have some relatives and individuals in your family that perhaps just didn't finish college or are in the process of, graduating college. We'll still consider you as a first generation student. So another thing that we did, so we invited you guys to this event. And so students received an invitation for today. Number one, because like myself, as a first generation student, I know that there's a lot of things that you guys struggle with, right? The support, you guys need to overcome a lot of stuff. Like sometimes, we as first generation students are a little bit lost and we don't know where to start. Well, that's why we are here for. We're here for you guys. We're here to help you, and we're here to just kind of like help you out where to start and what to expect, and kind of like guide you through the process. The other reason that we also invited your supporters, such as family members and stuff like that, is because there's three big things that we actually think that will set you up for success. And the number one thing is going to be having a support system. So make sure that you have someone to talk to at home. You know, when it comes to being a first generation student, you know, we want you guys to be connected with your family. We want your family to also be connected with all this process so they can help you out. You know, we also, you know, encourage you guys to you know, have a support system at school as well. If you guys have counselors that you guys can talk to, or if you guys, you know, need help with anything, you make sure that you talk to administrator, uncles, grandparents, you name it. And so I also know that today there might be some individuals that have that need that extra support system. Well, let me tell you, admissions counselors here are gonna be able to be part of your journey, right? So we know that sometimes it can be a big struggle just going through that process. And so we want to be the biggest advocates and the biggest support system that you guys have. So, I mean, if you guys need help, don't worry. Make sure that you guys are constantly bugging us. I mean, we love to answer all of your questions and we love to be part of your journey, because at the end of the day, our ultimate goal is to get you to OU and to be successful in life, right? And so the second thing that I want you guys to start paying attention is the dates. So one of my biggest things that I struggled with when I was, you know, going into college was not knowing anything about dates, right? So make sure that you write every single thing down. Dates are gonna be something that is really, really important to us, because that is really what is going to set you up for success. We're going to give you more opportunities when it comes to, you know, scholarships or other programs that we might be able to nominate you, because you guys have been doing everything before the deadlines, right? So make sure that you write every single thing down. And last but not least, make sure that you guys share everything about you. As admissions counselors, we really love to get to know you. We really want to connect with you, and we really want to see who you really are. So, I mean, usually the more information that we have, the better, because that way we're going to be able to find out, you know, if he's actually a Sooner, or he wants to become a Sooner, like we're going to be able to hook you up. So make sure that you give us everything, you know, what you guys like to do for fun, all the different information that we might want to know about you. Make sure that you guys tell us every single thing, because it's going to be really, really helpful when it comes to your application and when it comes to other things as well. Okay. And so with that, I'm going to pass it along to Cade, right?
Yeah,
So he's
yeah.
going to give you a little bit more of information about what's next, or what is OU going to have to offer you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. As a first generation student, you know, it can be overwhelming looking at what's available to you, what is available to you out there. It can be a lot of known, maybe a lot of unknown as well too. So let's talk about OU, right? And what we can offer you as a student. So we have over 170 different undergraduate degrees. As you can see down there at the bottom, ou.mymajors.com is a great assessment that you can take if you are like, okay, I know some things that I'm interested in, but what major might that be? Take that assessment and you'll get to see a list of majors that OU offers that might be a really great fit for you. Here you can see some of our really, really awesome programs that we're able to offer at the university. Some things we are known for are meteorology. We do have the National Weather Center on campus. And so that means that if you're interested in weather and climate, you could be at the National Weather Center one day working with real professionals every single day, right? Musical theater is up there as well too. We do really well at fine arts, which not a lot of people know about OU. And I think that's a really interesting, you know, major that we get to offer, and also a really fun program for students to be a part of. And other things on there as well too: nursing, journalism, business. Those are all really popular at OU. The top three majors are going to be business, biology, and engineering. Those are our top three most popular majors. The College of Engineering actually just got a brand new building not too long ago with some super awesome facilities in there. And we are always updating all over campus for those majors. We have 40 national titles. So these are our athletic programs. When a lot of people think of OU, a lot of times they think of our athletic programs, but we really have so much more to offer than just athletics. But this is a really fun part of getting to be a part of the OU family as well. It's a little like a cherry on top, if you will, on getting to have great academics and great student involvement. We love to get to cheer for our team as well. So Hannah, do you want to talk about our family?
Definitely. I mentioned here at OU, we are a family through community, relationship building, mentorship. OU is a family, and by that, holding each other accountable and being there for the big moments and the moments in which we experience failure as well. One really great way to build mentorship relationship is for our student to faculty. Also, 22,000, not only, but we have 22,000 undergraduate students. This are able to relationship between faculty and students. You're not just a number or so well in Oklahoma, side of Oklahoma, Texas, all over the nation. So internship opportunities, we have an internship fair on to help set you up for success. Is really great. A little bit about, so on average, we have about 32 students within the classroom. Our honors college, it's 19 to 20 students, so it's a little bit low. We also have large lecture classes, 100 plus students. That's only 4 classes on. A little bit frightening, no worries. Those lectures, you'll split up in smaller groups, in section or section, to have that more intimate with your teacher days, as well, professors, and then learn from your peers as well. We have these on campus, over 680 students, major groups, religious groups, life, professional. We really encourage our students to involve in some capacity. It helps you stay grounded, and also community. It's going to be your so what a great way to community through getting involved.
Yeah, thanks, Hannah. So we also are a great investment. That's definitely something to consider whenever you are looking at a university and what you're going to be investing in, right? Because it can be a little daunting to think about those kinds of numbers. So let's take a look a little bit about why we are a great investment. 91.6% of students received a scholarship from the Office of Admissions and Recruitment. This is a large number because we like to help students as much as we can, right? And we want to be able to provide this opportunity for students. The great thing is that whenever you apply to OU, you are going to be applying for your scholarships as well. So you won't have to do a lot of extra to be considered for those scholarships. You will be able to just, be considered for those as you're applying to OU. So now looking at the cost, we have both as an Oklahoma resident and a non-resident. There are going to be different costs associated for if you are coming from within the state or from out of state as well too, so you can get a quick glance at those numbers. And again, these numbers might look a little daunting, right? But that's why we're here. We're here to help, and we're here to walk you through what do these numbers mean? How can we offset some of these numbers through scholarships? How can I continue to receive more scholarship opportunities? Is there opportunities for me to work? There's lots of things to consider when looking at the cost of college and how we're going to pay for that. Now we're going to talk about how to join the OU family.
Yeah, so let's chat a little bit about how to join the OU family and becoming a part of this awesome tradition. So there are 3 ways that you can apply to OU, but real quick, if you're a freshman or a transfer, you'll apply at apply.ou.edu, and then if you're ou.edu/CE. This is a great way to start saving money for college, getting a jump start on your college education. So if you're from Oklahoma, you can actually receive 18 hours of tuition paid for by the state with credentials through concurrent programs, and OU offers one of those. So back to this, you can apply as a freshman or transfer student. You can either apply through our apply.ou.edu, through the or coalition app. Both of these two are basically a place that you can apply to a variety of colleges. We encourage our students to, as well, find the for you. That's a great way to apply to multiple colleges at once. It does not matter to us how you guys apply. You receive the same information regardless, but that's how you apply to OU and how you can join the family.
Great. So now I'm going to talk about our holistic review process. So as Hannah mentioned, there are lots of different ways that you can apply to OU, right? So whenever you're thinking about how you apply to OU, this is going to be the review process that we use for all three of those application methods. Okay, so don't you worry about if one is going to be better than the other, exactly like Hannah said. So we have a holistic review process. Let's talk about what that looks like. The first portion is going to be academic rigor. So that's the biggest piece of the pie here, right? And sorry, let me backtrack a little bit. What does holistic mean, right? That's an important thing to tackle. And so holistic means that we want to look at all parts of a student, right? We want to look at more than just your academics, more than just your engagement. And so some universities, you might hear of a certain ACT score or a certain GPA that you need to get in, but that's not how it works at OU. Again, we want to look at all parts of a student so that we can fully understand you and who you are as an individual and what you can contribute to the OU community and OU family, like we have mentioned. So academic rigor, this includes GPA, test scores, class rank, course rigor. What kind of courses were you taking? As you can see at the bottom, OU is test optional, meaning that you do not have to submit a test score in order to be admitted to OU. Now, this can get a little tricky. And so again, that's why we have admissions counselors here to be a resource for you, because you don't have to submit a test score, but sometimes there can be more scholarships associated with a test score. However, we do have test optional scholarships as well too. And so again, if you feel like you are confused on whether or not you should submit an ACT score or an SAT score, reach out to us, talk to us, and we will help guide you through that process, okay? So that's what academic rigor looks like. That will be through sending in your transcript. You will talk to someone from your high school about getting that transcript sent in to us so that we can see your GPA and see your grades. You would talk to a school administrator about that so we can hear from you on that. Engagement, that's the next piece of the pie. That is, were you a part of student council? Were you a part of a church organization? Did you volunteer? Did you have a job? That's a really big one too, right? These are all the parts of you outside of the classroom that are really important that we want to hear from you. Were you in FAA, yearbook, all these different, NHS is another really popular one for students. And so again, what'd you do outside of the classroom? We want to hear about those things, okay? That's going to be another big piece. And if you haven't already, my biggest advice for you would be to put together a list of all of those things that you have done throughout high school, because then when it comes time to apply, you can just take that list and input that information into your application. So the longer you wait to make a list like that, the more things you will forget. And so definitely do that now before you forget anything. That way we can hear as much about you as possible. Next is going to be the essay. The essay is going to be basically you sharing a part of yourself with us. And I know the essay can also be daunting to students where they are worried about if we are going to be tearing it apart piece by piece, right? We just want to hear from you. We want to hear a part of your story and have you share that with us. Now, with any college admissions essay, definitely be considering any word limits or length. Be considering that as well too, because some students will write 2 sentences, and while they may be 2 really great sentences, we want to hear more about you, right? And so there's going to be lots of different prompts for you to choose from. The great thing is that you can go online now and actually look and see what those prompts are. They've already released them for this year. If you look up the common application essay prompts, you can view all of those and see what prompts are going to be available to you. Don't think about which one you think we are going to want to hear from you, right? We want you to choose the prompt that's best going to embody you and your story and be able to share a really cool part of you with us. Lastly, letters of recommendation. Letters of rec, you can submit up to 3 of them. These are where we want to hear from other people outside of your family on your personality, on your character, on your work ethic, those other parts of you as well too, right? These can be coaches, these can be community mentors, they can be teachers, advisors, lots of different options available to you. Employers, if you have a job, is another really great one there. So definitely be considering those. And another piece of advice here would be to go ahead and start reaching out to some of those people who are going to write letters of recommendation for you, okay? This gives them time to be able to actually write a really great letter for you and gives them time to be able to process that information and give them a list too of things that you've done as well too. I talked about making that list earlier, right? Definitely go and give them that list of what things that you have done. That way they can go forward and write a really awesome letter for you.
All right.
Okay, I was gonna test it real quick. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we got you, actually.
Okay, so sorry about that. A little microphone problem, but we'll go over some important dates. Like how Alejandro said earlier, write these dates down because they're coming up quick. August 1st is when our application opens, which is great. And then October 1st is when the FAFSA opens. If you don't know what the FAFSA is, it's Federal and Financial Student Aid. So you'll be able to apply for that and then send it to us directly. And then November 1st is our early action admission deadline. So if you apply by this date, it's non-binding, so it's not like you're committing to OU, but you will receive priority in admissions decisions and housing preferences. So you'll kind of be one of the first people to get to apply for housing, which is really great because it is on a first come, first served basis. And then December 15th is our final scholarship admission deadline. So you can actually apply to OU, be admitted, and then go in and complete the supplemental scholarship essays, which, like we've mentioned, these scholarships will qualify you for leadership, community service, diversity, specific academic college scholarships as well. And then this is also our final merit-based deadline as well, which you can check out online. February 1st is our final admission deadline. So this is the last day that you can apply to become a Sooner. And then April 30th is our test score submission deadline. So you can actually take tests, ACT, SAT, up until this date and continue to submit them, maybe for a scholarship upgrade or just to help with proper course placement as well. So continue to test and you can send those in through April 30th. And then May 1st is our enrollment deposit deadline. So this is when you actually commit to being a Sooner. And this is the final deadline that you will have to make that decision.
Great. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the actual application, right? This is an application crash course. So we have talked a lot about what OU is like and the nitty-gritty details on scholarships and the cost and what's the application going to entail. So let's actually see what it looks like visually, right? So obviously right there, there is a link. If you even Google apply the University of Oklahoma, it'll probably be the first link that pulls up on there. And so as you can see down there where that blue arrow is pointing where it says OU application, that is the place where you can go directly from our website to start filling out the OU application, and also the options down there too of the common application and the coalition application as well too. So you'll scroll down till you see that box on the side and you'll click it. And this is what it's going to look like. Okay. So the first thing you are going to want to do is create an account. You can see that blue arrow there again, where it says create an account to start a new application. Because if you have already started an application, once you start, if you need to take a break for a little bit, you know, kind of gather more information, you'll see there on the left, it says log in to continue an application. So first time users, you're going to create an application to be able to start doing that. And then once you've done that, if you need to take a break, you can always go back and log in there as well. Once you go from there, this is what it's going to kind of look like. Okay, so it's going to start off with some personal background, your legal name, your address, and just some of those really simple things that you're going to need to be able to kind of start going through that application process. Just things we need to know to be able to process that application. On the left-hand side, you're going to be able to see all the different sections. So while this may look different, these are all very similar things to those things I just talked about not too long ago with those different pieces of the pie, right? So there's the main application, app information, and family. And that is, again, all just information that we need to know about you in order to correctly process your application. And from there, it goes on to the education portion. So again, that piece of the pie that says education, grades, test scores, where you can submit all those. And then after that, activities and involvement. That's the engagement portion I talked about. That's where you can list the different things that you've been involved in. And then the writing and supplemental information, that's the essay, right? So that is where you'll be able to fill in the essay. If you are familiar with Google Docs and you like to use that, you can always use that as a place to edit, and then you can copy and paste that into your actual application on there. There are two supplemental essays, that are going to be one over leadership and one over community service. Feel free to fill these out if you're wanting to be considered for additional scholarships. I would highly, highly recommend doing so. And one, again, will be over your leadership experiences, and then one over community service. And then lastly, your signature. So wrapping it up and review page here where you can look and it will flag anything that you would need to go back and check for us and input for us. And then at the very end, once you've been able to look at all that, there at the bottom, the blue arrow, you'll press submit application.
All right. Well, thank you guys. That was a lot of good information. So now from now on, before we jump into Q&A time, I mean, I'm gonna give out a few tips, and if you guys wanna, share other like secret tips that you guys are gonna be able, to just kind of like share with us, and so they could like like kind of like start thinking about things and just like pay attention and just follow, so they can revamp their application and stuff like that. So if you guys want, I can go first and I can give out a few tips that I can give out, and then after that we can just give a one or two tips between each other, and then we can jump into our Q&A time. Sounds good? So for me, the first tip, if you guys have not been able to schedule a campus tour, make sure that you guys do that, right? Make sure that you guys do that. It's gonna be 1 hour, 1.5 hours of, of just visiting campus, but you guys are gonna get a lot of information that perhaps we might not cover today, but it's gonna be a lot of one-on-one. You're gonna have potentially the chance to actually visit with your admissions counselor and actually sit down and just talk about like a breakdown, like a breakdown of like a guide of like the things that you kind of have to go through and just kind of like make happen, so you guys can make OU happen. That's the biggest thing for me. The second biggest thing, at least for me, would be just make sure that you, like Kate said, make sure that you guys take some time on the essays, right? We really want to see that you guys are sharing as much as you can with us and making sure that you guys are telling us who you really are. That's what ultimately really matters when it comes to essays, right? Because I mean, like Kate said, sometimes we get some monotone essays, two sentences of essays, and we're like, no, I'm pretty sure you did more than that. When it comes to activities and your resume, make sure that you guys write every single thing down, like literally every single thing down. If you're working, because I know perhaps there's students out here that they might not be engaged in school activities, however they're working. We consider that as an activity. There's other individuals here that perhaps do a lot of community work. Make sure that you write every single thing down. Whatever you can think of, it's going to be really beneficial to your case, and it's going to be really beneficial for us to really see who you really are, because ultimately that's what we really want. We really want to see what we call here sooner born, sooner bred. So I mean, hopefully we're able to achieve that with you guys. How about you guys? You guys have other tips?
Yeah, I have a couple. The first big one being, if you haven't already, start to form great relationships, and as I'm sure most of you already have, to strengthen those relationships for these people that are going to be helping you throughout this entire process, right? Like Alejandro said earlier, a powerful support network is definitely something that's going to be incredibly important for you. And so again, you're going to need your school counselor to send in your transcript. You are going to need people who are going to write letters of recommendation for you. You're going to need people who can read over that essay for you and give good, honest feedback because they care about you, right? So strengthen those relationships with the people in your community who are going to be helping you throughout this process. That way they truly do help you put your best foot forward, right? If it's going to be people who are close to you and who have that bond with you, they're really going to want to help you out in the best way possible. And I promise that. The second tip that I would share would definitely be to get on campus. And this would be for, any school that you would be interested in learning more about, because again, we have these admissions counselors on OU's campus, right? And again, forming those relationships, strengthening those relationships there. We have tons of resources for you on campus to explore, and it's a really great opportunity to get there and really feel it for yourself and use that time as well to be in person with all these people who are on your team and ready to help you as well. Hannah?
Yeah, so I just wanted to highlight student organizations real quick. I know my mic was cutting in and out, but at OU, we truly believe about the power of involvement. So we have over 680 student organizations on campus, everything from student government, major specific groups, cultural groups, religious groups, Greek life, professional groups. So we highly encourage all of our students to get involved at some capacity, keeps our students grounded, helps them build community. And so, like I said, at OU, we believe in the power of involvement. So that's my first tip. And then my second tip, like they've both kind of mentioned, get connected to your admissions counselor. We are the greatest resource to get to know more about OU and to get you connected to OU. Through this process, we know it can be difficult. There's a lot of information thrown at you, but like I mentioned, we want to be a resource to you to help you kind of navigate that, and help you better understand what it means to become a Sooner.
Wonderful. Those are really, really good tips. And I mean, hopefully you guys start taking advantage of, your admissions counselors. Like everyone keeps saying, we are the ultimate resource and we're going to try our best, to get you connected with every single person here, every single scholarship, whatever we can try to help you out, we will be able to help you out with. All right, well, let's jump in with our Q&A time. So if you guys want to start, perhaps bombarding us with some questions, we're gonna try our best to answer them. And I believe we have already our first question. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read it out loud, and if we want to, we can start just answering them. What do you guys think? Yeah. All right. So, so the first question: with the leadership and community service supplemental essays through the OU application website, how is this done through the Common App? Common App does ask about community service and leadership, but it only asks to give highlights of these areas in 150 characters or less. Are these one in the same, or do we need to go through the OU application website versus the Common App? You guys, I think I have an answer for this one. I would highly recommend for you guys to to go directly to the OU application. I think the OU application is a direct link through our our system, and so once you guys have that broken down and have that like ready to go, it will be sent directly to us. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's your guys' choice. But we highly encourage you guys to apply directly through the OU app because it's more familiar, and it also breaks every single thing down much better. All right, so we have another question. So we went to Sooner Saturday. Should we still do a campus tour? What do you guys think?
Yes, I will give a big yes for that one. Sooner Saturday, we designed to kind of be like a big preview day for you, where you can start to explore that all the OU has to offer you. And so a campus tour, if you come again, we can give you even more resources on the specific things that you're interested in and talk to you one-on-one more about those things you're interested in. So big yes on still doing a campus tour, even if you went to Sooner Saturday, because again, that's like a preview, and we want to continue that relationship and that conversation with you as well.
All right, guys, we have time for more questions. You guys are a little shy today. Okay, perfect. The next one. When it comes to recommendation letters, once you pick your 3 people, what other information do you need to give them?
I can tackle this one. So your letters of recommendation, like I said, whenever you kind of decide your 3 people that you are wanting to do, you should give them information about what universities you are applying to if you're applying to more than one. And you should give them information again about things that you did outside of the classroom. We have gotten letters of rec before where they will write about a student, but they will put in a different university's name. And so just make sure you are communicating with them again, where you're applying to, where you're interested in, and maybe some things too that you or other people that you have asked as well too. So for example, I always really recommend getting some diversity within those 3 people that you are looking to ask. So maybe instead of doing 3 teachers, you do a teacher, a coach, and a counselor, if that's 3 people in your network that you know that you can ask. And I would tell each of them, say, hey, I have a teacher writing me a letter of recommendation. So could you maybe write on my work ethic, because I have someone who's going to be writing about academics. So that would be other really great pieces of information to be able to do that. And through the OU application, you can essentially send them a link to where they can fill out that letters of rec, and they can attach their letter of recommendation from the application source whenever you put in their email. So that will be something else to ask from them, or they'll be able to email it to us as well.
And real quick, I wanted to highlight that first question. Our Director of Diversity Enrichment Programs just messaged us as well and said on the Common App, there will be a specific OU section that will ask supplemental essay questions, as well as other questions for OU. So it's all in the applications. It doesn't have to be the OU app to submit those supplemental essays for scholarship purposes.
Perfect. We have another question. If we're still undecided on which college we want to attend, should we still apply to multiple schools? Also, does OKC area fall under the Southeast Oklahoma? So I think if you're still undecided, you can apply to as many schools as you want to, you know. In our case, you know, even if you come in as undecided, you will go through what we call our university college, and university college is going to be able to guide you and find out what you really would excel to. You know, if you perhaps are still undecided between nursing and engineering, they might be able to help you break those questions down, and, you know, give you really exact details of like what are the things that you need to do. So I mean, you can still apply anywhere you want, and you can still apply as an undecided. You still have time to, you know, choose your major. In my case, I didn't decide until I was in my second year of college, you know. So I mean, I took a little bit of time, but I was a little bit lost, and, you know, I found myself, and eventually I ended up with communication studies, and I'm not gonna lie, I love it. So I mean, there's multiple options, and when you come in, you kind of have a choice, and you guys can decide whatever way you guys want to go about. All right, another question. When you submit your application, could you go back to update it with test scores or just other information? So you can go back. So once you are done with your application, like Kate said, you're gonna, instead of going to the returner, instead of going to a new user, you're gonna log into your returner user, and that way you're gonna have access to your application to update a bunch of other things that you perhaps needed to update. Okay, let's see.
I can read this next one.
All right.
So I went for a campus tour and was able to attend the Honors College information session. While there, the information officer told us that the requirements for the Honors College, such as the minimum SAT or ACT score, if a student had a very close SAT or ACT score, but not quite the minimum they stated, they should they still apply and try to get in sort of like a holistic review. So for the Honors College specifically, they do generally have a ACT and SAT score requirement for those students who are going to be incoming first year students. Now, it does state on the website as well that if you are really close, you can attach a letter of recommendation and like personal statement on there as well too. You can attach some of those things to that application so that you can still be considered for that. And like I said, this is just for the Honors College. That's not for OU specifically. Now, something to keep in mind as well too is that you can apply to the OU Honors College as a current OU student. So if you have taken, I believe it's 15 credit hours at OU, then you can apply to the Honors College as an OU student. Basically meaning that you are going to be able to still apply based off your college GPA and no longer off of your ACT or SAT score. Those are things that with the Honors College application, you will be able to do even as a current OU student. So there's two options there of applying before you get to OU to the Honors College and applying as a current OU student to the Honors College.
All
And I
right,
do-
and then we
Yeah,
have
go ahead.
another question. What are the test optional scholarships? So for that question, you guys can check out our website. On the freshman tab, we're gonna be able to list every single scholarship that we have for test optional students, and students with their ACT score. So make sure that you guys check out our website. That's gonna be your hub. Like that's the #1 place that you guys need to check out, because in there's gonna be a lot more information, important dates, scholarships, requirements for every single thing. So make sure that you guys are looking at that often, because we update information pretty often as well too. All right. Is there any other questions that you guys have? All right, wonderful. Well, hopefully we were able to answer all of your guys' questions. And if you guys still need help or still have more questions, make sure that you guys, like we said, connect with your admissions counselors. They're gonna be the best resource, and make them your friends. I mean, ultimately, that's what we love. We love to have good conversations, and we love to have we love to network with you guys. We love to see what you guys are doing in school. We love to highlight you on every single thing that we can. So make sure that you guys are connecting with us, because we want to be the best resource that you can have out there. All right, and then I also wanted to talk about something that you guys might be interested on. Actually, you guys, I'm highly encouraging you guys to come to this event. So the event that is gonna come up here pretty soon is called Sowers Day. This event is gonna be Friday, September 30th, and it's an all-day event. We're gonna be starting at around 8:30 in the morning, and we're gonna be done at 3 p.m. However, this event is packed with a lot of information, a lot of activities. We're going to be having campus tours. We're going to be having a lot of keynote speakers. We're going to be having a lot of workshops. We're going to be having advisors there that you guys can actually talk to. And then on top of that, we're going to have also student organizations that you're going to be able to connect with. In every single resource that we're going to be offering you guys here is for first generation students. Right. So, I mean, we are trying to cater as much as we can for you, and we're trying to help you as much as we can. So make sure that you guys mark this down on your calendar and take advantage of this. This is an event that is going to be free. We're also probably going to be raffling a bunch of things, goodies. We might raffle a few scholarships as well. So make sure that you guys don't miss this event. You're going to start receiving more information on your email. So be on the lookout for that information, or even ask your admissions counselor. If you guys are still a little bit scared of, contacting your admissions counselor, you can always ask, hey, what's Sowers Day about? So they can give you a little bit more information, and we can get you connected, and hopefully we can get you to come visit OU and immerse yourself with all of the information and all of the good things that OU has to offer, right? So, I mean, hopefully you guys are able to attend this. And last but not least, we also have social media. So make sure that you follow us at Go to OU. We love to highlight students here. If you guys want more information, make sure that you tag us on everything. Make sure that you guys are checking often, because we're always giving you important dates right there too. I mean, and who doesn't love Instagram, right? So, I mean, I like to follow a lot of stuff on Instagram, and it's always on my feed, and it always makes me remember important things that I have to do. Excuse me. So make sure that you guys follow us at Go to OU, and that way you can also get connected with us. All right. And with that being said, thank you guys. Thank you guys for being part of this event. If you guys have more questions, make sure that you contact us. We're gonna be recording this, and we're gonna be sending it to you, so that way you guys don't miss anything, so you guys can see it again and just kind of get connected with us. But please, please, please take advantage of of the admissions counselors here, and also make sure that you guys have a support system. Like I said, make sure that you keep your family involved, because we're going to be your big advocates, but your family and your support system can be really good advocates for you guys as well. You guys have a few last things to say, guys, before we leave?
Just want to say thanks for being here, y'all. Don't forget to come check out campus and reach out to us if you have any questions about anything. Let us be a resource for you.
Same as both of them. Thank you guys for joining us. We hope you have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thank you guys for joining.